or to count her eggs and make sure they were all there. One day, the ducklings hatched out. First came Jack, then Cack, then Black, then Mack, then Knack, then Quack, and Pack, and Quack. Huh? There are two quacks. And Miss Mullet were bursting with pride. It was a great responsibility taking care of so many ducklings. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One day, Mr. Mallard decided he'd like to take a trip to see what the rest of the river was like further on, so off he set. I'll meet you in a week in the public garden, he quacked over his shoulder. Take good care of the ducklings. Don't you worry, said Mrs. Mallard. I know all about bringing up children. And she did. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She taught them to walk in a line, to come when they were called, to keep a safe distance from bikes and scooters, and other things with wheels. When at last she felt perfectly satisfied with them, she said one morning, "Come along, children, follow me." Before you could wink an eyelash, Jack, Cack, Black, Mack, Knack, Quack, Pack, and Quack, there are two quack, Pack, and Quack fell into a line, just as they had been taught. Miss Mallard led the way into the water, and they swam behind her in the line on the opposite bank. There they wandered ashore and waddled along till they came to the highway. Ooh. Mrs. Mallard stepped out to cross the road. Honk, honk. Went the horns on the spinning cord. Quack, 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 went Mrs. Mallard as he tumbled back again. Quack, 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 went Jack, Cack, Lack, Mack, Knack, Quack. Pack, and Quack, just as loud as their little quackers could quack. Quack, sheep, quack, squawk, quack, quack, keep, queek. The cars kept speeding by and honking, and Miss Mallard and her ducklings kept right on, quack, quacking, quack, quack, quacking. They made such a noise that Mitchell came running, waving his arms and blowing his whistle. Tweet, honk, quack, quack, quack. Then he planted himself in the center of the road, raised one hand to stop the traffic, and then back on with the other way policemen do, for Miss Muller to cross over. As soon as Mitchell and the Ducklings were safe on another side and on their way down to Mount Vernon Street, Mitchell rushed back to his police booth. He called Clancy at the headquarters. There's a family of ducks walking down the street, Clancy said. Family of what? Ducks, yelled Mitchell. Send the police car, quick! Meanwhile, Miss Mullard had reached the corner book shop and turned into Charles Street with Jack, Cack, Whack, Mack, Knack, Quack, Pack, and Quack, all marching in a line behind. Everyone stared. An old lady from Beacon Hill said, "Isn't it amazing?" And a man who swept the street said, "Well, now, ain't that nice?" When Miss Mullard heard them, she was so proud she tipped her nose in the air and walked along an extra swing in her web. When they came to the corner of Beacon Street, there was a police car with 4 policemen that Clancy had sent from headquarters. The policemen held back the traffic so Miss Mullard and the Ducklings could march across the street. Right on into the public garden. Inside the gate, they all turned around to say thank you to the policeman. The policeman smiled and waved goodbye. When they reached the pond and swam across to the little island, there was Mr. Mullard waiting for them, just as he had promised. The Ducklings liked the new island so much they decided to live there. All day long they followed the swan boats and eat peanuts. When the night falls, they swim to their little island and go to sleep. The end.